Mitch from Hard Intentions YouTube channel. We also have hardintentions.com, which I wanted to bring to the attention of some of our newer viewers and subscribers. Hard Intentions was started by me as a way to, as an outlet, you know, for my artwork and t-shirts. And what I have here is here's one of our t-shirt designs. And then we have some more. These are all original prints. Well, they're done with original art that I did when I was in prison. There's another one of my t-shirt designs. And we have this one. This is the latest one. It's called the Hammer Drop, because he's getting ready to drop the hammer. My company's called Hard Intentions, and our YouTube channel is called Hard Intentions, and we sell t-shirts. And when I was in prison, I painted all the designs for the t-shirts that I wanted to print when I got out. And after I've been out a while, it became a reality for me. You know, it was a dream in prison. Now it's a reality. And we also sell prints of my art. Here's one. It's called Disappearing. We have another one here. It's called Rebel Run. You know, if you like motorcycle art or just artwork, we have different stuff we're bringing online that's not really motorcycle related. Some of it is. And so we have prints available. We also have stickers, and we're working on hats and some other things. I also do original artwork for people. This is a painting I did for somebody. His brother riding a motorcycle. I don't know if you can see that. It's based on a photograph of his brother riding a motorcycle. So we also have stickers. It's our company logo right here. Hardintentions.com. It says, whatever you do it hard. That's our motto. Here's another one of our stickers. That's a singing devil. And we're working on getting more stickers and some other items available. You know, we try to bring on new shirts whenever we are financially available, capable. So, you know, I'm glad that you tuned in, and I'm glad that you like our channel. We just ask you to please subscribe and check out our website. It's hardintentions.com. And, you know, I hope you like our content. I hope you like our merchandise that we have for sale on our website. And you know, we also have a Patreon account, and you know, we do monthly mail outs of stickers or prints depending on what level you subscribe to that. And hardintentions.com, we got prints and t-shirts available. Thank you very much, people, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. Be safe out there. We know it's a little crazy right now. Don't take any unnecessary risks, and just be safe. God bless you and your families. Take care. Thank you. Got out of the shoe on that. So when you're in the shoe now, now you're exposed to, because you were on the main line with just regular white dudes. You know, there was some, you know, certain, you know, guys.
Yeah, there was a certain group running around.
Yeah, like they on the main line, they had certain guys that were like part of a street type gang. White.
Yep.
There were no prison gang guys on the main line back then, because they were all in the shoe. So when you're in the shoe, you're around them dudes, right?
Yep.
Prison gang white dudes. And what was that like? Did you communicate with these dudes or what?
Yeah, I actually my neighbor was actually one of them dudes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah,
I'll tell you later on. Cool dude. You know what I mean? I think everybody back there in the shoe was respectful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, because I don't want to sit up here and pump them up and make it seem like they're gods or anything like that. But I mean, they're just they're on a different level than regular convicts. You know what I mean? They go about their business differently, and you know, so everybody's respectful and you know, because, you know, if the door's cracked, then it's a different story.
Yeah,
you know
well, them dudes, like a lot of them dudes, they get up on you, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, if they're not able to kill you, or they don't have to, you know, kill you, you know, they'll communicate with you, I imagine, and they'll be respectful.
Oh, yeah.
They want you to respect them as well, you know, so.
Yeah. I used to get I used to get sporting magazine. That's my thing, is like sports, man. So
Yeah.
you know, in the shoe term, I'd get my people to send me, you know, like Sports Illustrated and you know, Sports Weekly, and
Right.
you know what I mean, just to stay on top, you know, give me something to do.
Right.
And he was a sports fan too, and you know, I'd shoot him over the magazine, man. You know what I mean? And you know, keep it respectful, you know, keep it cordial. You know what I mean? We both have to be here. We can't get to each other. You know what I mean? And we kept it like that. And you know, we actually we conversated, you know, more than a few times, and he was aware of who I was and what I was before I even got there. You know, and you know, but yeah, but it also let me know, being that young, that I'm running around the yard acting an ass when the real convicts are back here behind. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers back here are real deal Holyfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you got a couple dudes in each car on the yard that'll kill you. But most everybody behind that wall doing them indeterminates, they'll kill your ass.
Yeah. A lot of them have killed people.
Yeah.
In prison,
you know what I mean?
So yeah.
Yep. So
yeah.
So it kind of raised my awareness. You know what I mean? And it made me like the homie said, hey, start using your head, homie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stop going off emotion. Stop going off of anger.
And it shows you how serious, you know, things really can be, you know.
Yep.
And like a lot of them dudes, like even when I went to the pen, regular guys, you know, people don't really understand. Like when I went to the pen, all them dudes were on the main line, in and out of the shoe, whatever. But everybody in prison was kind of on that level. Once you got to certain prisons, you know, and it's like, if I don't like you or someone, right, and I want to kill them, or I don't like them, I got a problem with them. There's no shit talking like, hey, fuck you or fuck that guy.
Right.
Or, you know, there's no mouth flapping, you know. It's just like you go about your daily business, they go about their daily business. And if it's just like a thing where I don't like them, I'm going to wait, bide my time, you know, and if something happens where I got to take them down, I'm going to take them down. That's the mentality people had. You know, there was a level of respect maintained even for people that you didn't like or groups that you didn't like, you know.
Right.
That's just how it was. And so, you know, people kind of forgot that over time, man. So you're experiencing that back there. So when you got out of the shoe, where did they send you?
I went right back out there to the main line in Tehachapi.
All right, and you stay there to the end of your term, or did you go?
No, they sent me to Lancaster.
All right.
I dropped down to a 270, and they shot me to Lancaster.
Right.
To D yard.
Okay.
Actually, I got to A yard. When I got there, A yard was orientation.
Right.
And this is when they were doing the honor yard. Was it called an honor yard? I think it was called
they
like
were flipping A yard to become an honor yard.
Okay, I didn't want to misuse the term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's the first honor yard in the state.
Okay.
They made
so
there.
I got off the bus there. They shot me to A yard for orientation. I was there probably a week. Went to UCC, and then they shot me to the SAP program on D yard.
Right.
And went over there, man, and I was blessed because I hit the yard, man, and hit the building 5 over there on D yard. And there was like 15 homies, 15 San Diego Crips over there, and I knew all of them. And I'm like, oh, okay, we cracking over here, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you know, being in Lancaster, the woods, the whites were short, you know what I mean? It was basically a black prison. Most of the staff
was prison.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so I went over there, man, and by that time, when I'd hit a yard, instead of letting the homies go holler at the white boys, I would go holler at the white boys.
Right.
I'd go straight to the shot caller and be like, I'd get to the yard and, holler at the homies, and then I'd ask one of the homies, like, hey, point out the white boy shot caller.
Yeah, who's got the yard for the white dudes?
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'd go over there and I'd be like, hey, homie, I'm Lil Wacc from San Diego Crip, homie. If you got any problems, don't send your torpedoes. Let's me and you do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that's how I did it. That's the way I did it, because instead of me being the uncomfortable one, I'm gonna put this on your plate, homie.
Right.
And let you make the decision.
Right. So now you got him on the spot.
Right.
And what I know about, guys that say they have the yard, usually they're a lot of times they're hiding shit from people. It's like, they got dirt in their closet, so they want to be the top guy so no one else will know about their dirt. Or they want to be the top guy so they can get free drugs from all the guys who got dope. It's a lot of various reasons. Usually the guy who says he has the yard, as far as white dudes, he's usually the biggest fucking scumbag on the yard.
Yeah.
And
so
weak.
Yeah. So I got to Lancaster. I hollered at the homies. The homies like, man, I'm finna go holler at the woods. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm gonna go holler at him. So I went over there, took one of the homies with me, went over there, hollered at him. He was basically like, all right, yeah, like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And later that day, I'm go to chow and whatever. And there's a dude on my row, white dude. And he was kind of staring as we went to chow and came back. Couple days just kept going on, homie. Like, we'll come out, you get released for chow and you stand in front of your door and you wait for the homies or whatever, you know what I mean? And he would just like stand there, homie, like not near me, but down the tier, and he'd be looking, you know what I mean? And then every time I'd look over there, he'd look away.
Yeah.
So finally I got tired of it, homie. I'm like, you know what? And I told the homie, I'm like, man, hey, this dude look at me again, homie, I'm gonna knock his jaw. And so we went to chow and shit, and the homie like, nah, just, stall him out, homie, you know what I mean? He was like, the white boys here don't want no problem, dog. They're all strung out anyways, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like,
yeah, they're all dope things. A lot of dope things in Lancaster.
Well, yeah, and plus we were in the SAP program, so that lets you know right there.
Yeah.
And so we go to chow and shit, and motherfucker staring at me in the chow hall. I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker want to get knocked out. So we get back to the building. And the homie like, I'm finna go holler at their caller real quick. So he go over there and holler at the caller. And the caller like basically like, hey, well, let me go holler at him. He want to get down. I'm like, he want to get down? I'm like, man, I said, well, look, you know what I mean? Like, all right, so I'm going to tell you what I'm finna do to him, dog. He's a little dope fiend, homie. I'm finna, you know what I mean? At this time, I'm big now, homie. I done gained 130 pounds since I've been out, bro. But back then, I was 6'1". When I paroled, I was 6'1", 185. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this dude was probably 6'1", but probably weighed $140. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so anyway, he walked over there by the water fountain. I just went over there and slid him. You know what I mean? And literally pulled him up under the motherfucking benches, homie, and later, you know what I mean, and left him right there and spun off. You know what I mean? Went over there and the homie was like, man, go get your people, man. And left it at that. But one thing I'll tell you though, Mitch, about Lancaster, even though it was a gang of black COs, but if you remember correctly, most of the sergeants, lieutenants, and captains weren't black though.
Yeah, they were
white.
Yeah.
So they didn't like
the head of the union there. The guy who was the representative, the head of the prison guards union, he was a real piece of shit, man. I was on C yard before I went to A yard, and they brought some black dudes down from Pelican Bay, and they're on the yard asking about shit, and he spit on one of them. I think his name was Hughes, and he spit on one of these dudes, man, and they weren't punks, they went in their cells, packed up all their property, came back out to the afternoon yard and jumped on the cops. I mean, they
handled their business. Hell yeah.
Yeah, most of the upper staff there, the officers, they were white.
Yeah. So we used to be on the yard, and like I said, just in building 5 with me, because I think on D yard it was one building was EOP, 2 building was and then 2, 3, 4, and 5, or 4 and 5 were SAP,
Right.
Five
Two
was
building
SAP.
was orientation.
Huh?
Two building was orientation when I was there.
On DR?
Yeah, I went through orientation in that building.
Okay, so well, 5 was SAP, 4 was overflow SAP,
Right.
and then 3 was whatever.
Yeah,
And then they had the fence down the middle of the yard. But anyways, so like I said, when I got there was 15 of us, 15 Crips from San Diego just in building 5 alone. And then we had probably 4 or 5 more homies in 4 blocks. So we'd all come out to the yard together. That was the biggest San Diego Crip car that I had ever been.
Right.
There
was a lot of white dudes from San Diego there too.
No, there was. And
well, there wasn't a lot of white dudes, but there was several white dudes from San Diego. But
yeah,
I lived in a building in Lancaster with 10 white dudes. And there's 200 people in the building. And I was like telling guys, another building 1, they had like, 30, 40 white dudes. I'm like, hey, come on over here with us. Come on, it's cool. And they're like, man, fuck you, We only had 10 white dudes in the building,
Yeah.
It was
so we used to be on the yard, man, and there was a female star. You might know. I don't remember her name, bro, but she was tall. She was pretty in the face. She was tall, real tall though.
The black chick?
No, a white girl. She was like 6'2" or 6'3", bro. She was tall, but she couldn't stand it. She used to, man, she'd ham us up just our car, just the San Diego Crips.
Yeah.
She'd ham us up on the yard, man, where they'd search us. And she'd be like, man, you're still here? To me. She'd be like, oh, you're still here? I'm like, what you mean am I still here? And she was like, oh, okay. I was just checking. The white guys ain't got you yet. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, well, next time, hey, I was like, if we want it to happen, send them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they kind of, I think they got they didn't like that. You know what I mean? They got offended by that. So the police ended up literally, man, I put this on my pops, rest in peace, man. They literally put a knife in my mattress, bro.
Yeah, I believe it.
And
I'm gonna ask you, were you there when staff got jumped on the yard? Because we talked about that. Were you there when that happened?
That was the homie from A-Trade Gangster.
Okay, so
I was gonna get to that.
Yeah, all right.
So they this started in that happened in August of 2002. But the lockdown started, if you remember, the lockdown started like in April.
Yeah.
Then when they started fucking us over. Well, in April,
what they started doing was they started, because for people that don't know, they have work group categories. A1A is like top. You got a job, your program, you get all your privileges, packages, yard. A2B is a guy like if you just drive up and you don't have a job, you're A2B. You still get yard, you get stuff, you're good, canteen. But then C status is a guy who's got some write-ups and, he can't have a job. They won't let him go to work and shit. So you get restricted. You get like an hour yard and this, that. Or what they, and then D status is you're just straight shit,
Yeah.
But, so they started really fucking, they started enforcing stuff there that was beyond what was supposed to be going on.
Right? Especially trying to push that on the level 4. You know what I mean?
Right. And they started locking that prison down, searching, locking it down, searching, locking it down all the time.
That started in April, bro. So they locked us down, right? And me and the homie basically everybody knew they were coming, bro, to search. So me and the homie did what we had to do to be clean.
Yeah.
And when I say that I literally by hand stuck my hand in my mattress, bro, and searched every inch of that mattress to make sure nothing was up in that motherfucker.
Right.
I mean that.
Right.
So they come to hit our cell. They place us on the other side of the day room with the rest of everybody else in handcuffs.
Right.
They're searching our cell. Bam, we out there for like 15 minutes. And they come back to get us, and I start walking towards my cell, back to my cell. They start pushing me towards the motherfucking rotunda out the door, out the building. I'm like, where the fuck are we going?
Right.
Like, oh, you know what it is. You know what it's about. I'm like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? In my mind, I'm thinking somebody done dropped a kite on me. Because that's happened before where I can't say it was the Woods because I never seen the kites, but I'm pretty sure the Woods dropped a kite on me and were like, hey, something's going to happen to this dude or, you know, to get me off the yard. Instead of doing it the convict way, motherfuckers would drop a kite on me.
That's a
You know what I
modern
mean?
thing. You know, guys owe money, they drop kites. Guys don't like you,
Yeah.
they drop kites. Yeah. I've had it happen to me.
So we get to the motherfucking program office. They put me in by Shelly to hold me in the cage and shit. We looking at each other like, cuz, what happened? And we like, nigga, I know we done, you know what I mean? We got clean for this, extra clean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And bam, they pull us into the room and shit one at a time, and they talking about they done found a motherfucking knife in my mattress.
So they gave you another shoot term for that?
Nah, we end up beating it. Okay. I'm gonna tell you how. So I say, man, you full of shit. You motherfuckers done put that motherfucker up in there. Yeah. So they send us to the hole over there on the 2 yard, over there on B yard, and no, on A yard.
Yeah, A yard.
With A yard, yeah. 2 building, right? And
4 building.
Yeah. And so, you know, you go in the cell. I'm like, first thing I asked for was like, man, let me get a Title 15, man. They gave me a Title 15. I start going through the motherfucker. I'm talking about, Mitch, I'm studying this motherfucker like it's the Bible and it's the last day I'm living. Bam. Somewhere in that Title 15, I could probably find it right now if I had one. It says that when a new person is brought into a cell, that cell has to be searched.
Right.
And they have to log that in.
To log it. Yep.
Bam.
Every building has a log book, and every day they're supposed to search 10 cells a day. Each shift, they're supposed to log all the cells that they search. Yep.
And so I bullshit you not, Mitch. So we sat in the hole from April till June. Went to my hearing, and we both went to our hearing and shit, and got found not guilty. I called the building officers. Carranza, Galavis, I called them as witnesses and was like, did you search my cell when I moved into the cell that day? No. Did you search his cell when he moved into the cell that day? No. Not guilty. So when I went to, so they found us not guilty, and then, you know, to get out of the hole, you have to go back in front of ICC.
Right.
I went back in front of ICC, all bullshit aside, bro. The associate warden said, I don't like you Crips, and if you make one fucking mistake, you're out of here. I'm gonna send you so far up fucking north, your parents and them will never see you again.
Right.
Like, yeah, whatever. Just make sure you get me out the hole before canteen next week.
Yeah.
He didn't like that, you know what I mean? And so they shot us back. They shot us back to D yard. I get to D yard and shit. They put me in a 2 building with another Crip from LA and shit. I knew him before, you know, being on the yard and shit. I was just waiting on a bed to open up back in 5 block in the SAP program. Tell me why that night, bro, middle of the night or the next morning, IGI hits my cell like 5 in the morning. They didn't find nothing, of course. You know what I mean? I didn't even have my property yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but they were thinking that, oh, he's a White Crip. He's gonna have to have a knife. You know what I mean? As soon as you get to the yard, he's gonna get a knife. But I'm not that stupid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they hit the cell, didn't find nothing, put me back in the cell. Then they end up moving me to 4 block. But they put me in the cell in 4 block by myself. And I was gonna move, but we had been on lockdown for a couple days.
Right.
And we were waiting for the lockdown to come up, and I was gonna have the homie move in the cell with me. And tell me why they come get me out the cell again, bro. They take me to the program office. They talking about somebody done dropped a kite, talking about something's gonna happen to me. The whites are gonna move on me. This, and that. I'm like, man. I said, man, you got me fucked up. I said, look, I'll sign a chrono. I'll do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. Come on, man. Kick me back out. Like, no, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go and do your You're gonna have to have your 114D lockup hearing, and then you're gonna have to go to ICC.
Right.
I'm like, come on, man. I said, and it was I was talking to the captain while I was in the cage. I said, Captain, I've been on your yard for X amount of time. I said, ain't nothing happening. You know ain't nothing gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know the white boys here on this yard, they don't want no problems. You know what I mean? Like, come on, homie, you know what I mean? And so anyway, they sent me, and the next week at ICC, they kicked me right back out to the yard. It was fucked up because they called IGI in there and had the IGI sergeant, and the IGI sergeant was like, well, you know what? I mean, he's been here for this long and ain't nothing happened. I don't think anything's gonna happen. Right. So they had to kick me right back out to the yard. And then after that, this was like June into July. That's when we ended up disciplining a homie on the yard, and they put me on CT. Me and a couple of the homies that disciplined the homie, they put us on CTQ. And then later that day, the others and the Mexicans ended up getting into it on the basketball court, and they slammed everybody. Right. And so we've been on lockdown from July into August. And then, so I'll go into the story now about when the homies took off on the police. Right. Well, we have been on lockdown for like 3 weeks. They did all the searches and all that, and we were coming back up. But they were talking about when we came back up, they were going to bring us back up in steps. We were going to have to walk the cow on a single file line with our hands behind our back, and if you were C status, you could only go to yard on certain days for an hour. Or we're talking about just all kinds of crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Excessive disciplinary measures.
Yeah,
for the whole yard.
Yeah. And so I guess so that morning we hadn't we got released, and then, or no, you know what? We hadn't even got released yet. I don't even think they had got the top tier and 5 block yet. Yeah. I was in the cell with the homie Dark Side, and the alarms went off. And I remember, homie, the police running up and down the tiers. They were shining lights in cells, and I mean, they were like geeking, homie. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm looking at my cellie like, man, what the fuck going on? You know what I mean? Yeah. And come to find out, 2 of the homies from LA, 2 Crips out of LA, they had took off, stabbed the police, and I think broke one of his jaws and whatever.
I saw the evidence photos on that, and the story I heard was, you know, they were making guys walk a single file, walking the line on the track, going to chow back, and old boy was like walking outside the line like all blasé, like, yeah, fuck you, you know.
Yeah.
Cop ran over there like, hey, get in line and shit, and he took off on the cop, was beating him down. He broke his jaw and all that shit. And I guess the sergeant, or I think it was a sergeant, ran over there. And when he ran over there, old boy's homeboy jumped out and stabbed the sergeant. So it's like a setup, you know?
Yeah, his celly.
He stabbed him in the neck and shit. He stabbed him up pretty good. I seen the evidence.
Yeah, they were you know, they were 2 good homies. They were from LA, and they both had life without parole.
Yeah.
And they were YA babies. They, you know, they caught life as juveniles, so they did their time TS, and then they got shot across. You know what I mean?
And
so they ain't have nothing to lose.
Here's the deal, man. You know, prison, you know, you take somebody, in that case, they had life without parole, means they're never going to get out. Of course, now they're getting out. But anyway, their mentality is, man, I'm never getting out, and you're treating me like a bitch. You know, you have excessive punitive measures, like, you know, walk on the line like you're a punk, you know. And they were doing that in the whole prison, except A yard and C yard was PC by then, I think.
Yeah, CR was PC.
And, you know, guys just get tired of it, man, and that's the result. You know, that's the you know, action.
And that's what happened.
You know.
And so we went back on lockdown, and then they got all the Crips up off of D, or they hit us all with conspiracy to murder staff, DA referrals. I think they hit I'm not sure of the number, but I know they got a gang of us up off the yard to hit us with the conspiracy to murder staff. Yeah. And a lot of us got sent, so I got shipped to High Desert.
Yeah.
But actually,
were you in Lancaster when they had that riot on B Yard?
On B Yard? Yeah.
That was the Mexicans and the blacks.
Mexicans, the Mexicans took off on the homies.
Yeah, because there was a Mexican cat. There was blood actually on that yard.
Yeah, I know him. He got fucked up pretty good, man. But he was down though.
Yeah.
You know, I met a Mexican. I got a homeboy.
So you
Well,
know
not a
that
homeboy.
that
Huh?
riot right there made world news. I mean, it was bad. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
they had
Oh yeah.
helicopters hovering over the yard, and they were life flighting guys out of there.
Yeah. A couple homies got life flighted up out of there on that,
Yeah.
man. And
But you know, people
you
don't
know, but
realize, man.
that without saying too much, without revealing, you know what I mean, too much. But that was a case of motherfuckers not keeping their guards up, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and handling a problem when it arises and letting it just fall by the wayside and waiting on, you know what I'm talking about, you
Yeah.
know, and it ended up in motherfuckers getting life flighted up out of there, man,
Yeah.
you know, and it wasn't Mexicans that got life flighted up
Yeah.
out of there,
Well,
so,
people don't
you
realize, man,
know,
how serious. You know, I don't know about other states. I don't know how things are. I know some states have pretty messed up shit, but California, man, you know, guys get murdered in here, man. They get killed, you know, and it's so serious. They got them local hospitals on notice for life flights, so they'll fly a helicopter right in, land it on the parking lot or the yard, and life
yeah,
flight guys out of there. I've seen life fly out of Lancaster and Corcoran. And when I was in Soledad, they would land in Soledad to take guys out of Salinas Valley. I mean, all the time. So
all the time, yeah, and I was I was just coming back from Canteen that day
yeah,
when it went down on B Yard, and I remember all the police. They locked us up, and all
yep,
the police ran over there
yep,
to B Yard. And
yeah,
I remember, you know, and after we came back up off of lockdown, I remember motherfuckers were, you know how it goes. Motherfuckers were
yeah,
contemplating on, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And but nothing ever happened. And
And so, you know, you say Lancaster was a black prison. Uh, I'm going to tell you, I seen guys like they got a fence on the yard, and the program is separated by a fence. And I seen cops who work there tell inmates, you know, prisoners, whatever, on the yard, hey, what's up, homeboy? I saw your mom last night, man. Sends her best, you know, woo woo. Hey, yeah, tell moms this and that, you know, hey, your sister, this and that. I mean, they
yeah,
know each other. They grow up together,
man,
and they were busting them dudes like they bring packages on the yard in a big laundry cart. Dude had 7 pounds of weed in the laundry
man.
cart. They busted dudes on D yard with like a softball sized ball of heroin, 10,000
Bro,
cash. I
hold
mean,
on,
just, you
hold
know,
on, bro. Man, hold on. Look,
it was just
I
off the hook.
bullshit, Mitch. I bullshit you not, bro. On D Yard, motherfuckers weren't doing mail outs like that, bro. Motherfuckers were paying with big faces, $100 bills on the yard, bro.
Sure.
Yeah, I was look. When I said we got super clean, because
Yeah.
they were coming for. It was bro. It was to the point where if you wanted, you could have had nobody looking out for you on the streets. But if you had any kind of hustle gene in your body, man,
Right.
you had lockers full of shit.
Sure. And
That's just how prevalent
I
it
mean,
was.
you know, and the staff always say, well, these inmates are bringing this in through a visit. These
Man,
inmates
I
are
seen the
smuggling
FBI
this
hit the
in.
yard and take the
But
CO to jail.
but you know, how do you get, you know, a cell phone? You know, you ain't bringing that in off a visit, and you're not smuggling that in through a package. You
The
know, I
homie
mean,
had a DVD player, bro.
sure, guys had everything
You
in there.
know,
That's dirty staff, man, and they don't want to
yeah.
point the finger at their own, but I'm telling you, man, staff are dirty, man.
Well,
They're dirty.
I seen when the FBI hit the yard
Yep.
and came and removed the female staff that was fucking with the Southsiders. She was bringing them. She was doing the deal for them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And the FBI literally with the blue jacket with the yellow letters that say FBI. I literally watched them walking. I was in the shower on the top tier B section, right above the podium.
Right.
She was standing at the podium. I seen the motherfucking grill gate crack open. I seen
Oh, I remember that
lieutenant.
when that happened. That was in the
Yeah,
newspaper and shit. I remember
look,
that. Yeah.
look. I seen a lieutenant walk in. I seen the captain walk in. I seen like 2 dudes in regular clothes, and then I seen 3 dudes with the blue FBI jackets on. They put her in handcuffs right there at the podium, and marched her dumb ass up out of there.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, there was prison gang stuff involved with that. There was some murders involved with that. There was all kinds of shit going on with her. I remember that.
Yep.
I do remember that. Yeah. Lancaster was a trip, you know, and you know, like I said, white dudes are severely outnumbered. I was in 2 riots there, you know, with the Southsiders. But you know, for the most part, blacks really didn't fuck with the white dudes there. You know?
Nah. That was the peacefulest joint I was at as far as like tension with the woods. You know what I mean?
Well, as a matter of fact, there was a crib. I worked in arts and corrections on A-Yard. It's in education, and there was a big old youngster there, man, black dude. He was a crip, you know, and we had 2 riots with the Southsiders, and you know, he was a porter in there, and he had something going on with the female staff. They ended up getting busted, but you know. He came into arts and corrections, man. He goes, hey, and he had a big old knife. I was like, whoa, you know. And he goes, hey, man, you know, if you ever need a knife, you guys have another problem with him, dudes, you know. He told me, if you need a knife, just ask me. I'll give you a knife. I was like, what the fuck, you know.
Damn.
I never had a black dude tell me, you know, if you need a knife, I'll give you a knife, you know. But yeah, it was a trip.
Matter of fact, the white boy that I was cool with behind the wall in Lancaster, he was from Dago. His name was Ghost. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Nah, yeah, he wasn't. You know what? I don't know if he was a skinhead, but he was. You know, but anyway, he was. I mean, he was cool though. He was from Lemon Grove, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were cool, man. You know what I mean? I mean, we sit behind a wall and fucking drink our coffee. Fucking.
Yeah.
I'd sit there and fucking smoke my weed, and you know what I mean, and fucking do nothing. We were in office services. We never did nothing, bro. The free staff, she'd bring us movies in from outside, and we'd sit there and fucking watch movies all day.
You know, by that time I was clean. You know, I quit getting loaded in '98, and but man, that was a party joint. Them dudes are partying, making a lot of money, I imagine. But so you went to High Desert from there?
Oh man,
that must have been a culture shock.
So let me tell you this. So when they got us off the yard in Lancaster and hit us with that bullshit ass conspiracy shit, we sat for about, I don't know, 6-7 months, and basically motherfuckers knew it was a ruse just to get us up out of there.
Yeah.
So and they shot a gang of us to High Desert. And anyways, to make a long story short, I opened up the new ad seg unit in Lancaster. You know when they open that one, I think it's between B and C or A and B.
New ASU,
yeah. I opened that motherfucker on my birthday, Mitch.
Yeah.
They took me and my celly from A-Yard, the whole and ad seg and A-Yard, and we opened that motherfucker up on my birthday, and that shit was fucking that horrible. They had the dog kennels in the back. That's how you go to yard and fucking. But anyways, they
started. They built one of those ASU ad seg units in each prison, and they had dog kennels, no more group yard, walking around in a dog cage. Yeah.
Oh, so every joint now has the ASU.
All level 4's got them.
Oh, okay. And so they I went to fucking ICC, and they finally endorsed me to fucking High Desert, and got on the chain. Fucking laid over, I think, in like Wasco or something, and then went into fucking got up there at High Desert. And when you go to High Desert, you actually leave California and go into Nevada, and then come back into So we got to High Desert, and I walked into you walk into R&R in High Desert, and it says "Welcome to High Drama." There's a sign that says that.
Yeah.
And it's got like it's got cowboy boots sitting right there, and I'm like, and I remember so I'm, you know. They get you off the bus and shit, and they undo your fucking shackles and shit. And they separate you in the holding tanks according to race, you know. And so the lady's escorting me, and she's like heading me towards the white holding cell, right? And back then I used to have long hair, and I kept long hair, and I used to keep it in braids, so the homies would know it's me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but you know, when you're on the bus, you can't have your hair in braids, you know. So my hair was just down long. and she probably thought I was just long-haired Metallica fan or something. You know what I mean? And so she's heading me over towards the white boy cell, and the sergeant was like, no, he goes in the black, and she's looking at me. She's like, "You're black?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can say that." And so she put me up in there, and I remember sitting there talking to some of the homies and shit in the holding tank, and one of the homies, he was from Compton, Pyro. He was telling me he had just paroled from there, and they shot him back up there. He was back on a violation.
Right.
He like, "Hey, Black," he said, "I ain't gonna lie to you, homie." He like, "Just be ready, homie, because it's going down." He was like, this is the white capital of CDC."
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
went
like,
from a
"What?"
black prison to a white prison.
To the White House.
Yeah, the White House. Yeah.
To the White House.
Yeah, extreme.
So
yeah,
I'm sitting there in the holding tank, bro. I look up. Here's IGI. IGI pulled me into the little office and was like, "Look, man, I got these sort of dudes running the yard, the big dudes. I've got these other dudes running the yard. You know what I mean? Like you got like a year and a half till you go home, man. I don't think you know what I mean?" I'm like, "Man, look, I ain't trying to hear none of that, man. Send me to my
he
cell."
was trying to get you to check in, huh?
Yeah, he was trying, you know what I mean? I'm like, "Man, I'm like, send me to my cell, man. I ain't trying to hear that shit."
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right." And bam. So they sent me, you know what I mean? Sent me to the yard and shit, and sea yard.
And so, guys who don't know, High Desert Prison opened up, and for about a year, it was super cool. They had boom boxes, all kinds of shit, and then it was not cool after that. And now, and when you got there, and now, it's probably one of the most dangerous prisons in California.
Well, yeah. See, like what I tell people when they ask about it, they be like, "Man, I heard Pelican Bay." I said, "Look, man, since 2000, when that big riot happened in Pelican Bay been on modified program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the most part, ain't nothing really happened in Pelican Bay since then.
Yeah.
Because it's been modified. So they sent all the assholes from there to High Desert. High Desert since 2000, 98, 99, 2000 has been the most active pen in California.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when I hit the yard, it was, you know what I mean? Hey, full throttle.
Guys,
you know what I mean?
High Desert's up in the mountains in Susanville. It's way up there. Like you said, you got to go. There's two ways to get there, but one is you go through Nevada up. It's in the mountains. So, like in a prison like Lancaster, there was a lot of drugs. There was a lot of money. They had hobby. They had all that stuff. So everyone's kind of just kicking back, enjoying the ride. And when you get to High Desert, it's so far away, almost no one gets any visits. There's almost no drugs. There's almost no money. There's no hobby. There's nothing. Right?
Yep.
So, guys ain't just kicking back and enjoying the ride, because the ride now is a whole different scene. It's, for fun, they're going out the yard stabbing dudes, having riot. That's what they do for entertainment. So that's what you just drove up into, right?
Yeah, I seen a dude. I was there not even a month, and I've seen people. I seen a couple dudes die in the joint before that.
Right.
But I was there a month, not even a month, and I won't say what group it was, but it was some Hispanics. They threw their homie a spread during day room. This is back when we were able to have day room, and waited for the cop to come through to do the closed beat count, and wait for him to leave our section, leave our pod, and wait for the tower officer to go across to the next pod. And